The world is mine. I don't know. We'll have to sit together with PFL and see what we can come up with. But I just beat the best girl that's out there out of any other division. So
They said she was too young, too inexperienced, too nice. But from the first moment Dakota Ditcheva stepped into a cage, she had one message for all her critics. Watch me. Every time a fighter tried to intimidate her, mock her, or dismiss her as hype, they ended up leaving the cage humbled and bruised. Dakota wasn't there just to win. She was there to dominate, to prove that her calm smile hid a storm of precision and power. The rise begins, facing Catherine Karanis. It was November 22nd, 2022. The stage was set in London for one of the most anticipated matchups of the year. Dakota Ditcheva versus the loud, undefeated American striker, Catherine Karanis. Karanis came into the fight with 3 vicious first-round finishes and a reputation for ruthless trash talk. She was confident, brash, and unfiltered, declaring that she loved crushing dreams. Dakota's reply wasn't with words. She stood silent during the face-off, eyes locked, calm and unbothered. When the fight began, she blew a kiss across the cage, her signature pre-fight ritual, and got to work. From the opening seconds, Dakota managed the distance masterfully. Her front kicks popped like gunshots, landing cleanly against Karanis' ribs. Every time the American tried to close in, Dakota answered with a crisp right hand or a sharp teep to the midsection. The sound of leather meeting flesh echoed through the arena. Karanis grew frustrated. Unable to land clean shots, she rushed forward and clinched, desperate to slow down the onslaught. But Dakota's Muay Thai instincts kicked in. She reversed the position, pinned Karanis against the cage, and delivered a brutal series of knees. Each strike was measured, patient, and merciless. Then, in the closing seconds of the round, came the defining moment. Dakota stepped in, shifted her weight, and unleashed a thunderous right hand that detonated on Karanis' jaw. The American crumpled instantly. The referee dove in, waving off the fight as Dakota stood tall, roaring in victory. One punch had silenced the doubters. The crowd erupted. A star was born. That knockout wasn't just a win, it was a statement to every woman in the division. Dakota Ditcheva was the real deal. The PFL Europe tournament, new challenges. The following year, in 2023, Dakota entered the PFL Europe Women's Flyweight Tournament, a competition designed to find the continent's best female fighters. Each round meant tougher opponents, higher stakes, and louder critics. In the quarterfinals, held in Newcastle, she faced the Swedish striker Malin Hermansson. Hermansson was aggressive, confident, and outspoken. She mocked Dakota in interviews, calling her the poster girl, and suggesting she was more about image than skill. Dakota didn't reply. She simply smiled during weigh-ins, then walked into the cage, ready to let her actions speak. From the opening bell, she controlled the fight with grace and brutality in equal measure. Switching between stances, like a chess player shifting strategy, she fired leg kicks and knees with frightening precision. Every time Hermansson tried to close the distance, she ate a sharp knee to the ribs or a whip-like roundhouse to the thigh. Dakota's composure was unshakable. Her footwork was fluid. It was as if she was writing poetry with pain. Then, just when everyone thought they had her figured out as a striker, she changed the script completely. Late in the first round, Dakota caught a kick, transitioned smoothly to a takedown, and began to grapple. The crowd gasped. The striker was showing her ground game. She moved effortlessly into back control, slipped one arm under Hermansson's chin, and locked in a rear naked choke. Within seconds, the Swede tapped out. The arena erupted. It was Dakota's first submission win, and it sent shock waves through the MMA world. She wasn't just a striker anymore. She was evolving into a complete mixed martial artist. When her mother entered the cage to celebrate, the moment was pure emotion. A daughter's triumph and a mother's pride. Semifinals in Paris. Cornelia Holmes' warning. A few months later came the semifinal in Paris against the gritty Swedish grappler Cornelia Holm. Known for her jiu-jitsu and wrestling, Holm was confident that Dakota wouldn't survive her pace. "If you compare our experience, it's huge," Holmes said before the fight. "Second and third rounds. That's where I'll take over." The tension was palpable during the face-off. Holmes stared coldly. Dakota didn't flinch. As the fight began, Dakota once again started sharp, probing with her jab, flicking low kicks, measuring distance. Within half a minute, Holm dove for a takedown, but Dakota sprawled perfectly, using her balance and strength to stay upright. The crowd cheered her defense. Holm pressed against the cage, trying to control her opponent, but Dakota punished her with a barrage of knees to the body. Every clinch became a trap. By the end of the first round, Holmes' breathing had deepened. Fatigue was setting in. Early in the second round, Dakota landed a right hand that wobbled Holm. The veteran wrestler did a brief chicken dance, barely staying on her feet. Dakota sensed blood. She closed the distance, attacked the ribs again, and controlled every exchange. Holm, running out of options, tried to drag the fight to the ground. But this time, Dakota reversed the position, took Holmes back, and nearly locked in another rear naked choke. Holm escaped by inches, but her spirit was clearly broken. By round 3, Dakota's dominance was total. Her strikes were faster, her movement sharper. Then came the finishing sequence. A perfect 1-2 followed by a crushing head kick. Holm dropped to the mat. The referee stepped in. It was over. 3 fights, 3 finishes. Dakota Ditcheva was headed to the tournament finals. The grand finale, Lisa Malden's challenge, April 2024. Dublin, Ireland. The grand finale had arrived, and Dakota's opponent was Lisa Malden from the United States, a confident, heavy-handed striker who promised to stop the British phenom. Malden's camp was vocal, claiming they had the blueprint to beat Dakota. Dakota, as always, stayed calm. In her pre-fight interview, she simply said, "My strategy? Just to be vicious." When the cage door shut, Dakota came forward like a hurricane. Every punch, every kick landed with purpose. She chopped Malden's legs, hammered her body, and tagged her head with pinpoint precision. Her rhythm was relentless, a blend of calm calculation and savage efficiency. Malden tried to counter, firing back with wild punches, but Dakota's head movement was slick. Then, in a surprise twist, Malden attempted a judo head and arm throw and briefly ended up on top. The crowd gasped, but Dakota immediately bounced to her feet, unbothered, and went right back to pressure. Moments later, she unleashed a knee straight to the body. The strike folded Malden in half. Dakota swarmed her, raining down punches as the referee stepped in to stop the fight. A first-round finish, another masterclass in controlled violence. As Dakota stood over her fallen opponent, arms raised, the crowd in Dublin roared. She didn't scream, she didn't celebrate wildly. She just smiled, calm, focused, unstoppable. It wasn't arrogance, it was quiet confirmation that she was exactly where she was meant to be. A star is born. That victory sealed her reputation as one of Europe's most dangerous rising stars. But beyond her record and knockouts, Dakota's greatest weapon is her composure. She fights with a maturity that belies her age. Calm eyes, measured movements, never flustered. Every fight tells the same story. Opponents underestimate her calmness, mistake it for weakness, and pay for it the moment the bell rings. Whether standing or on the ground, she adapts, evolves, and destroys. From London to Newcastle, from Paris to Dublin, Dakota Ditcheva has proven that fighting isn't just violence, it's an art form. Her canvas is the cage,